Maryland Real Estate Exam Crash Course. Question 1. Which concept should a buyer representative apply to facts involving the standard Maryland imposes on a broker overseeing affiliated salespersons and associate brokers? Option A. No supervision for independent contractors. Option B. Supervision only after a complaint. Option C. Reasonable and adequate supervision. Option D. Supervision limited to escrow matters. The correct answer is option C. Reasonable and adequate supervision. The broker must maintain controls that support lawful and competent brokerage services. Independent minus contractor status does not remove the broker's supervisory duty. Failure to supervise can support disciplinary action against the broker. Question 2. Jonah is studying a rule concerning the principal pre-licensing education requirement for a Maryland salesperson applicant. Which term should be chosen? Option A. Complete a 30-hour course. Option B. Complete a 75-hour course. Option C. Complete experience instead of education. Option D. Complete an approved 60-hour course. The correct answer is option D. Complete an approved 60-hour course. The course includes a 3-hour ethics component approved by the Commission. The approved salesperson curriculum is limited to 60 clock hours and covers national and state topics. Passing a school course does not replace the state licensing examination. Question 3. When a waterfront parcel transaction involves the Maryland ethical rule preventing commingling of entrusted funds, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A. Keep brokerage and client money separate. Option B. Keep trust money until an authorized disposition occurs. Option C. Notify the Commission in writing within 10 days. Option D. Promptly account for all trust money. The correct answer is option A. Keep brokerage and client money separate. Segregation preserves ownership and makes every receipt and disbursement traceable. Unauthorized use can constitute conversion and lead to severe discipline. Operating expenses cannot be paid from a client trust account. Stressed about your Maryland real estate? We can take Maryland real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. A practice question describes the Maryland duty when a licensee offers a contractor's name to a client. Which response is best? Option A. Disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. Option B. Verify a recommended home minus improvement contractor's license annually. Option C. Avoid prizes, lotteries, or contests used to influence a property sale. Option D. Do not guarantee future resale profits. The correct answer is option B. Verify a recommended home minus improvement contractor's license annually. The statute treats this referral differently from several other listed service providers. The licensee checks the contractor's status through the Home Improvement Commission each year before making the referral. The client must be told where the licensing information is available and the date of verification. Question 5. During an offer review, which principle is illustrated by the retention period when a Maryland listed transaction does not close? Option A. 3 years after the listing date. Option B. 5 years after the license expires. Option C. 5 years after the listing date. Option D. Until the property is listed again. The correct answer is option C. 5 years after the listing date. The 5-year period is measured from the listing date in that circumstance. Closing minus based retention applies only when the transaction is completed. Maryland still requires preservation of the listing and related documents when no settlement occurs. Question 6. Which answer states the concept associated with the Maryland duty when the obligation to keep transaction funds ends? Option A. Written instructions or written agreement of the interested parties. Option B. Notify the Commission in writing within 10 days. Option C. A non-interest bearing escrow or special account. Option D. Promptly account for all trust money. The correct answer is option D. Promptly account for all trust money. Delay or unexplained shortages can lead to disciplinary consequences. Accurate accounting protects both the owner and beneficial owner. The broker must show the receipts, balance, and authorized disposition of the money. Question 7. A buyer handling a subdivision lot in Cumberland must identify the Maryland ethical standard for real estate advertising. Which choice is correct? Option A. Present a true and non-misleading picture. Option B. Include at least one licensee team member's name. Option C. Show the broker or branch manager telephone number. Option D. Include the licensed brokerage name conspicuously. The correct answer is option A. Present a true and non-misleading picture. Claims about property, services, pricing, and credentials must be accurate and supportable. Material limitations should not be hidden in a way that creates a false impression. The standard applies to digital, print, telephone, and other consumer communications. Question 8. During a title examination for a small apartment building in Westminster, Samuel needs to identify the rule described as the broker's basic Maryland duty while holding transaction funds. Which answer applies? Option A. Promptly account for all trust money. Option B. Keep trust money until an authorized disposition occurs. Option C. Provide notice to both interested parties before a good-faith distribution. Option D. Written instructions or written agreement of the interested parties. The correct answer is option B. Keep trust money until an authorized disposition occurs. A broker cannot release disputed funds merely because one party demands them. The money remains protected until settlement, termination, proper written instructions, a court order, or another authorized statutory distribution. The contract and governing law determine the permitted disposition. Are you looking for Maryland real estate actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access Maryland Real Estate Study Guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get Maryland Real Estate Answer Key today. Question 9. A appraiser is reviewing a rental home in Hagerstown. Which term describes a central Maryland advertising requirement for licensees and teams? Option A. Disclose the advertiser's license status and broker relationship. Option B. Include at least one licensee team member's name. Option C. Include the licensed brokerage name conspicuously. Option D. Show the broker or branch manager telephone number. The correct answer is option C. Include the licensed brokerage name conspicuously. Consumers must be able to identify the brokerage responsible for the services. Misleading presentation can support disciplinary action. An individual licensee's name or contact information cannot obscure the broker relationship. Question 10. At an inspection period, a Maryland exam candidate encounters the following description: the deadline tied to a successful Maryland examination result. Which concept is being tested? Option A. Apply within 30 days. Option B. Apply within 2 years. Option C. Apply at any time without score expiration. Option D. Apply for licensure within 1 year after passing. The correct answer is option D. Apply for licensure within 1 year after passing. Prompt application also allows the candidate to complete brokerage affiliation and fee requirements. Maryland requires successful candidates to complete the original license process before the passing score expires. Waiting beyond the permitted period can require additional examination steps. Question 11. Leah is assisting with a cooperative unit transaction in Salisbury. Which principle applies when the facts involve the operating limitation placed on a Maryland real estate salesperson? Option A. Act only on behalf of the affiliated broker. Option B. Provide services independently of a broker. Option C. Work for several brokers without notice. Option D. Receive direct brokerage compensation from clients. The correct answer is option A. Act only on behalf of the affiliated broker. The broker is responsible for reasonable and adequate supervision of affiliated licensees. Independent activity outside that relationship can violate licensing law. A salesperson's brokerage services are performed through the supervising broker. Question 12. Which answer most accurately identifies the Maryland requirement after changing an escrow account number, bank, or establishing another reported special account in a real estate transaction? Option A. Written instructions or written agreement of the interested parties. Option B. Notify the commission in writing within 10 days. Option C. Promptly account for all trust money. Option D. Keep trust money until an authorized disposition occurs. The correct answer is option B. Notify the commission in writing within 10 days. The duty applies even though the funds remain properly segregated. The broker should document the date and substance of the change. Prompt notice allows the commission to maintain current information for audit and enforcement. Question 13. A question arising during settlement preparation concerns a Maryland disciplinary restriction on specified promotional methods. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A. A penalty of up to $5,000 per violation. Option B. Verify a recommended home-improvement contractor's license annually. Option C. Avoid prizes, lotteries, or contests used to influence a property sale. Option D. Disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. The correct answer is option C. Avoid prizes, lotteries, or contests used to influence a property sale. The rule prevents promotional devices from improperly inducing consumers in a real estate transaction. Advertising a free appraisal is also restricted unless it is genuinely available without regard to the requester's purpose. Marketing programs must be reviewed before launch for licensing and consumer-protection compliance. Question 14. While analyzing a townhouse, Elena must apply the concept involving the method a Maryland listing-side licensee uses to satisfy disclosure duties while holding property open to the public. Which answer should be selected? Option A. Explain the differences among Maryland agency roles. Option B. No later than the first scheduled face-to-face contact. Option C. Treat every party fairly and honestly. Option D. Display the commission open-house notice conspicuously. The correct answer is option D. Display the commission open-house notice conspicuously. It must remain visible and use the commission-prescribed form rather than an altered substitute. The official notice informs visitors that the licensee present represents the seller or lessor. A private scheduled meeting may trigger different written disclosure steps. Question 15. Which real estate term is defined by the listing licensee's Maryland duty in a covered residential transaction? Option A. Inform the seller of disclosure or disclaimer obligations. Option B. Inform the buyer of statutory disclosure rights. Option C. No duty to disclose a death or felony occurrence as a property defect. Option D. Deliver the disclosure or disclaimer on or before contract formation. The correct answer is option A. Inform the seller of disclosure or disclaimer obligations. The seller must understand the state form choices, timing, and latent-defect responsibilities. Proper instruction and delivery protect the purchaser's statutory rights. The licensee is not required to conduct an independent property inspection solely to complete the seller's form. Question 16. In a transaction involving a single-family home, which rule controls when there is a Maryland disciplinary rule addressing misleading investment promises? Option A. Disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. Option B. Do not guarantee future resale profits. Option C. A penalty of up to $5,000 per violation. Option D. Avoid prizes, lotteries, or contests used to influence a property sale. The correct answer is option B. Do not guarantee future resale profits. Investment analysis must use reasonable assumptions and clear limitations. A licensee cannot assure a buyer that later resale will produce a profit. Market conditions are uncertain and such claims can deceptively influence a purchase. Question 17. A salesperson asks about a required subject in the Maryland written representation disclosure. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A. No later than the first scheduled face-to-face contact. Option B. Display the commission open-house notice conspicuously. Option C. Explain the differences among Maryland agency roles. Option D. Disclose representation through the medium of first contact. The correct answer is option C. Explain the differences among Maryland agency roles. The disclosure also describes fairness, confidentiality, material-fact, and offer-presentation duties. Understanding the roles supports informed decisions about entering a brokerage agreement. Consumers must be able to distinguish seller agency, buyer agency, subagency, dual agency, and intra-company representation. Question 18. Kara encounters one of Maryland's required elements in real estate team advertising during a lease negotiation. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A. Disclose the advertiser's licensed status and broker relationship. Option B. Present a true and non-misleading picture. Option C. Include the licensed brokerage name conspicuously. Option D. Include at least one licensee team member's name. The correct answer is option D. Include at least one licensee team member's name. Together, the elements show that the team functions under licensed supervision. The broker or branch manager telephone number must also appear. The advertisement identifies a responsible licensed participant in addition to the brokerage.
Stressed about your FCLE? We can take FCLE for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. Which choice best matches the description the Maryland professional duty concerning significant property information? Option A. Disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. Option B. Verify a recommended home-improvement contractor's license annually. Option C. A penalty of up to $5,000 per violation. Option D. Avoid prizes, lotteries, or contests used to influence a property sale. The correct answer is option A. Disclose known or reasonably knowable material facts. Intentional concealment and negligent failure to investigate obvious issues can both support discipline. The licensee should make a reasonable effort to ascertain material facts about property accepted for agency. Technical matters should be referred to qualified specialists when needed. Question 20. During review of a historic residence in Colombia, the parties discuss the Maryland licensee who may serve as the dual agent in an authorized intra-minus company transaction. Which term applies? Option A. Assign separate intra-minus company agents to the buyer and seller. Option B. The broker or designated branch office manager. Option C. Written informed consent of all parties. Option D. Do not reveal a client's negotiating limits without authorization. The correct answer is option B. The broker or designated branch office manager. The dual agent manages the brokerage conflict and assigns separate intra-minus company representatives. An affiliated salesperson cannot simply appoint themselves to represent both sides. Confidential information remains protected except when disclosure is legally required. Question 21. An exam scenario presents the consent required before a Maryland broker or qualified branch manager acts as dual agent. Which answer is most accurate? Option A. Do not reveal a client's negotiating limits without authorization. Option B. The broker or designated branch office manager. Option C. Written informed consent of all parties. Option D. Disclose offered financial bonuses to each party. The correct answer is option C. Written informed consent of all parties. Dual representation creates conflicts that must be explained before the arrangement proceeds. The consent form must comply with Maryland's content and affirmation requirements. A buyer or seller may refuse consent and is not required to accept the conflict. Question 22. A licensee preparing for an inspection period must recognize the Maryland procedure when a party fails to complete the transaction and the broker intends to distribute trust money under statutory authority. Which concept does this describe? Option A. Written instructions or written agreement of the interested parties. Option B. Keep trust money until an authorized disposition occurs. Option C. A secured area within the broker's office. Option D. Provide notice to both interested parties before a good-faith distribution. The correct answer is option D. Provide notice to both interested parties before a good-faith distribution. Interpleader or continued holding may be appropriate when the broker does not make a discretionary distribution. The broker communicates the intended recipient before releasing the funds. The decision must reflect a good-faith reading of the contract that created the trust. Question 23. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving the Maryland definition of a latent defect for residential disclosure purposes? Option A. A hidden material condition posing a direct health or safety threat. Option B. Inform the buyer of statutory disclosure rights. Option C. Deliver the disclosure or disclaimer on or before contract formation. Option D. No duty to disclose a death or felony occurrence as a property defect. The correct answer is option A. A hidden material condition posing a direct health or safety threat. Its significance arises from the direct danger to a purchaser or occupant. A seller choosing the disclaimer route must still disclose known qualifying latent defects. The condition is not one a careful visual inspection would reasonably reveal. Question 24. At a buyer consultation in Rockville, Talia explains the Maryland duty when a broker offers affiliated licensees bonuses for selling or leasing brokerage-listed property. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A. Assign separate intra-minus company agents to the buyer and seller. Option B. Disclose offered financial bonuses to each party. Option C. The broker or designated branch office manager. Option D. Do not reveal a client's negotiating limits without authorization. The correct answer is option B. Disclose offered financial bonuses to each party. The bonus does not eliminate the duty to act in the client's interests. Transparency allows the parties to evaluate the licensee's advice with full knowledge of the conflict. The disclosure alerts clients to a compensation incentive that could influence recommendations. Question 25. A transaction file for a condominium unit raises an issue involving a Maryland duty that applies regardless of which participant the licensee represents. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A. A written brokerage agreement. Option B. Disclose representation through the medium of first contact. Option C. Treat every party fairly and honestly. Option D, display the commission open minus house notice conspicuously. The correct answer is option C, treat every party fairly and honestly. Representation does not authorize deception or withholding material property facts from the other side. The licensee must respond truthfully and offer property without unlawful discrimination. Fiduciary advocacy for a client operates within these duties to all parties.